Hello. Let me get the camera right. How's it going? I hope that you're well. It's Carl Tresov here. I had so after the video I made the other day, talking about the fact that I'm kind of going to use this as a vlog, which I've said before, but I'm still trying to juggle and find out what works best for making YouTube content. And then it kind of came to me that it is the tube of you. So I'm kind of going to use it as a vlog space to talk about myself and my life and where, things that I feel need to be expressed or talked about to let everybody know where I'm at and what's going on with me. If you're interested, you might not be, but sometimes I think sharing a little bit of your life is helpful for other people who, other people who are maybe experiencing things that are difficult or challenging or problematic, and to hear somebody else's experience is sometimes beneficial. Anyway, so I had such a strong meditation last night, very, very, very intense. Now, in terms of the way that I connect to meditation, I studied with a man named Glyn Edwards at the Arthur Finney College, and a lady called Eileen Davis. On more than one occasion, you go there for weeks at a time. I went there 3 times, so I spent 3 weeks there overall, and you have classes every single day. As well as, obviously, I was sitting in private development circles for years alongside those intensive courses. So, week in, week out, I would be going to 2 or 3 circles and doing demonstrations and practice demonstrations for the public. So, I studying under them, I learned a technique called sitting in the power. I was talking about this today, which is allowing oneself itchy nose, runny nose, catch it, catch it, catch it. I was just, I first of all, I've been doing rapé, which is just tobacco, and you blow it into your nose. It's the most stupidest fucking thing, but because of the fact that the last 3-4 years have been quite challenging and difficult for me, I needed something to help me, I guess, to help me feel secure, something to hold on to or cling on to, because I was trying to build my foundation of my physical premise here, as well as everything else. Even though I'd done this work for 14, 15 years, I was getting everything back up and running because I'd had some time away. There's a lot of complication in my private love life, so that also was going on. So I needed something. Also, it's connected to root chakra stuff and shifting some of those things on a deep foundational level. There'd been a lot of things that had to move based on how I navigate my sexuality, my masculine energy, my gender. I was dealing with all of those things, so I came away from working and giving energy to other people because I didn't have the time and space to do that. I also probably was not in a position where I could step up to the table and help people in a way that's beneficial for anybody. You have to really draw the line with that and go, I need to give to me now. This is the time where I focus on myself and different pieces and parts of my own house. I need to focus on the kitchen, and then I need to focus on the bedroom, and then I need to focus on whatever. So I was focusing on that space, essentially. So yes, I've been doing some fucking rapé, which is the most stupidest fucking thing. Um, I don't drink or smoke. I rarely do what we would call drugs. Every now and then I might do a DMT thing or some. I have done mushrooms, but I don't do them often. I think they're very overdone. I don't like that people call these things. Oh, it's just medicine. It's just medicine. I think that there's a lot of addiction and running away into medicine and spiritually bypassing. I don't think it's beneficial, so don't do that. Anyway, so on that wonderful side note, because my nose ran and I brought it back, meditation, sitting in the power. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful technique, which, once again, I had this beautiful meditation yesterday where I went very, very deep into meditation. And, meditation used to be something that I would really, really have to sit and be very disciplined with. Now my body naturally takes me into it when it's the right moment, it's the right time. And while that's happening, there's a lot of spiritual work going on. So yeah, I become very aware of what needs to be done within my life in those moments. Now, I see these things as a gift that are given to you. I don't necessarily think it's something that you have to, once again, try to force or control. I feel like that with, spiritual gifts in general. That's also one of the things that, Glenn and Eileen taught me is, about becoming passively receptive so that you become an instrument, a vessel for God. It's bigger than you. All of these magical pieces of evidence come forward for a sitter when you get out of the way and you let something bigger work through you. You know, and so yeah, went into a very deep meditation and spiritual work started to happen. And then, interestingly, my energy cleans and clears, and things that I know I need to do happen. There were some very intense experiences that were going to make me sound fucking crazy, but I strongly connected to my grandfather. I'm going to tell this story because my daughter was very complicated. I got married. I had been in a relationship for 10 or 11 years with somebody who was 11 years older than me. Um, this was kind of codependent and a little bit kind of abusive, is the word I would say. It was really, yeah. And there was control aspects and elements going on. This was with a man, by the way. I then went on this whole trajectory of understanding my masculine energy and understanding the fact that actually my sexuality had come from trauma and that wasn't naturally who I was. So that was a big revelation for me. And then I realized, actually, wow, I'm not naturally gay. Um, I think, I think in general, um, you know, if you are a man or if you are a woman, the natural kind of mode of operandum is to be heterosexual. I often look at homosexual couples and lesbians, gays, whatever, and now I see kind of what's going on under the surface. We've got a lot of stuff going on with gender identity that's not that great at the moment. Once again, I've been through all of those spaces, so I understand and know them, which is wonderful and great, and I'm glad I had those experiences. It's helped me understand myself a lot better. Anyway, so um, all of that's root chakra stuff, deep foundational things. Um, so that was a very complicated time in my life. Then met my wife, well, the woman I married. It's all up in the air, but I'm trusting. Um, and I also was in a bit of a vulnerable position because I was still working through some things. So I attracted somebody into my life who had some of those issues as well. Even though I think that once again the intelligent design was working and it's happened the way that it needed to happen. Since then, once again, the baby was Olivia was born 3 years ago. It's forced me to step into my masculine energy to really get my work working, which once again, it's always done that, but making sure that the office is running, making sure promotion, and courses, classes, all of these other elements and facets, rather than just one-to-one readings, which was what I always did. It's now expanded. So there's all of this expansion going on, which then coupled with the video going viral, and then coupled with a lot of people seeing me and what it is that I do. And I think it's because I moved some things on a deep foundational level that I'm still navigating, still processing. I will be completely transparent with that. I'm quite an open book in that way. And once again, I'm not afraid to look at my darker elements. This is why it's good to talk about this stuff. My darker elements, my shadow, things that I am navigating. I am not scared to do that. I think it's important to do that because otherwise we have emotional blind spots. We then can't show up to the table and be there for other people in our life. Who wants to sit there with issues like that? Which is why if I see people that have gender identity issues or they're changing their name, I think you're masking. And what happens then very cleverly, you then project. in order to deal with your shit. I am not afraid to get to the root and foundation of who I am. That is aimed specifically at somebody. I hope you're watching this. I had somebody try to gaslight me recently about where I'm at and how I show up as a person, which is really actually not cool. They work as a therapist. They offered unsolicited advice, and I think that they need to deal with their own shit before they step up to the table and work with other people. So that's that. So yeah, there are times and spaces where you, once again, you can put your shit to the side. That's why I like working as a psychic. Yes, there's certain points I do therapy sessions where people come and we sit down for a chin wag. But I, once again, very real, very raw. And for me, it all goes down to the spirit and the soul and God. Yeah, because of the mediumship training that I had. Always bring it back to that. So thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Eileen. I hope I am doing the job well. Yes, I'm still dealing with things in my own life. I don't claim to be above human. I don't want to be a guru. Not fucking interested. Don't like that energy. Not professing to be whatever. Because I know that when I sit down and work with people, it's bigger than me. And Glenn taught me that. So thank you for sitting in the power. Thank you for, thank you in general for that training. It's served me for my life. And all of this amazing evidence comes forward when, once again, you get out of the way and you let the energy work, which is what sitting in the power does. And these incredible, amazing gifts then come forward. But so getting to the other part is I then had this very intense experience of my great grandfather had not been sent off to war when my grandmother was born. She was the eldest of 7. He was in the army and shot his best friend accidentally, and it drove him mad. But he didn't see my nan until I think in the first 3 years of her life, and that pattern has repeated itself. Now, this is going to sound fucking crazy, but I do not care, don't care, because once again, spiritual gifts, things happen. He once, when he was older and he was losing his mind, he called my grandfather, who, speaking of my grandmother being the eldest of 7, he was born on the 7th of January, died on the 7th of January at 77. When I was 7, I had part of my lung taken away on the 7th of January. The day he was born and the day that he died, he lived at door number 7 for the whole of my life. And so the 7s remind me that there is divine perfection, intelligent design, and God, something bigger, higher that is operating. So that's my granddad. But my great-grandfather rang him one day and said to him, you need to come, you need to come, you need to come, you need to come. There's somebody in the house, there's somebody in the house, there's somebody in the house. And he, when my grandfather went in, he was like, what the fuck? Looked in the room that my grandfather was saying there's somebody in there. And my grandfather walked over and he pointed and he looked in the mirror and he was looking at him. Now, yesterday, when I was in this meditation, I connected to, for some reason, he came in, I felt him, and I felt the connection to, feeling like, because I'm telling you, the last 3-4 years for me have been like fighting a spiritual battle against so much crap. Things that are not true, narratives that are not true, because when I got out of this abusive relationship, I lost my shit. Lost my shit on this motherfucker who for 11 years had kind of abused me and controlled me and didn't want me to flourish. And I'd been giving this person all this energy saying, you could do anything, you could do anything, you could do anything. And the moment that I was flourishing, this person would rather see me small and trapped and in a cage and broken than freely expressive. So I lost my shit after months and months and months and months and months of shit. So I beat that motherfucker up. Not good. They're alive. They're okay. We've since spoken. They are fine. But somebody that they know lives here. Now, this person has then gone on to say all of this stuff that I've sexually abused women, that I beat this person up with a baseball bat. Yet this person no longer talks to them. I was close to their family, close to their grandkids, was there for their grandkids, and they do not know the narrative or the story of that relationship. The fact that I was very young, I was a drug addict at the time, you know, so it's a very juicy one, isn't it? So they don't know all of that stuff. So then they've got around spreading all of these gossips and lies and not the true story and narrative. And that has then convinced people that I'm this very, very violent person who has sexually assaulted women, which is not true. Now, I'm very honest and I'm very blunt when I say it as it is. It gets people's backs up sometimes. But when other people think that you're this, and this, they think they're justified in treating you like shit. So when you then defend yourself, you're the bad person, and in their head they're operating from a projection of who they think you are. I've had to deal with that for the last 3 4 years. Not been easy. So I empathized with feeling like being at war for a few years is very different. I understand, but also not seeing your daughter for the first few years of her life. That pattern has replayed itself. Now there was this big wave of all the masculine energy. Now Venus has just gone into retrograde. Apparently, it's about the healing of the masculine energy. I don't know, how true that is, but somebody posted on Facebook. So I'm sure that there's some Pisces. Venus was in Pisces recently. It's all about unconditional love. So on some level, we've all been given empathy and unconditional love. Venus is also in Saturn, so it's root chakra shit, healing things on a deep foundation, which is all about security and stability. So that probably is the masculine energy. Anyway, so I connected with him, and boom, it was like I was staring down time and looking straight at him, like a moment of me meeting him eye to eye. And I felt, and I get chills, that I was looking at him through that mirror when he was looking into the mirror and saying there's somebody in there, and it wasn't him. Chills, goosebumps. I give myself goosebumps. So thank you to my grandfather. I sound nuts. I don't give a shit. But because, when people come to me for mediumship and, you're giving them names and dates and you're giving them very specific things about the person, you know that you've got to trust it, which is also why, despite everything that has happened, which once again, at a time when I was very vulnerable and not okay, and then I reacted to abuse, I became a bad person after 11 years of shit and then had to deal with slander and lies. I do not condone violence. But after such a long time and realizing just how much somebody was taking from you, I understand why I snapped. And I forgive myself. I would probably have done it again if somebody was continuously doing that to me. So yeah, fuck, I deserved it. Yeah, I've never been a violent person in my life. But yeah, that was yeah. It's so funny as well because some of those people that said those things are aggressive and violent and not good people, not nice people, not decent human beings, and they found somebody that they could jump on and they did it. So fuck you, Meryl. Fuck you, Neil. Fuck you. So that's that. So anyway, a lot of spiritual work yesterday, and I will say this: the same way that I think that these gifts are given to us, and deep meditation is given to us, and everything is from God. I think if you are a good person, you've got a good heart, you will always be okay. So that's it. That's what I'm going to say. That was story time. Big story time, that one. I'm going to work out whether or not I want to post it, it's to put myself out there like that. It's a bit, ooh. But once again, I know who I am and where I come from and what I have done and what I have not done. Yeah, fuck off. I was in such a bad way. Such a bad way. And when you see, oh my God, this person wants me in this position because it makes them feel masculine, it makes them feel like a man, they want me to be in a space of disempowerment because it empowers them. I lost my shit. After a long time, long time of giving to somebody who's taken from you. So yeah. So that is also why back to work. I know how to talk to people because I've experienced things. I've gone through drug addiction, I've gone through sex addiction, I've gone through eating disorders, I've gone through gender dysphoria, I've gone through issues with my sexuality, I've gone through issues of being separated from my child. I understand what real union is and what it looks like and how complicated it is because I've experienced that. I've walked through hell, I've felt the flames, yeah? Been there. And all it taught me was God, which is why I'm fucking good at what I do and my work. So, if you want to work with me, you can, carltreslove.com. If you want to give for these videos, you can pay back at carltreslove. I've got a live to go do. I'm going to go make a TikTok and then need to upload this 20-minute motherfucker. If you made it through, well done. Gold stars, thank you. Yeah, hopefully that helps people understand a little bit more who I am. You know? Life's crazy. Life is crazy and life is wild. Remember, all is good, all is God, all is love. Until we connect again soon in a bit. Ooh.